All right, I know a few of you missed the Music Modernization Act talk. I know it was quick. That's why I'm going to do this mix kind of live here too. We're just doing some mix changes and I'm fixing up. If anyone has any questions about the Music Modernization Act, just put them in the question bar. I'll check it out. It's on my screen right here. I'll be able to take a look at it. But there's just a few things I still need to tweak up about this mix, and I wanted to get it done today. So you could just bear with me through that if you just want to see some mixing.
My thoughts are free, surfing a constant breeze, handwritten in ink for me to pluck and ponder when I please. An over tree storms breach. My thoughts are free, constant breeze. My thoughts are free, constant breeze.
Yeah, that bottom one wasn't coming out too well when I checked it out in the car, so I'm going to move that up a little bit. I think that should do enough. I don't think I need to shape it anymore.
My thoughts are free, surfing a constant breeze, handwritten in ink for me to pluck and ponder when I please. An over tree storms breach. My thoughts are out of reach, and I succumb to the lies that the thunder tends to see.
I wanted this gang vocal to be a little wider, so let's see what we can do about that. I mean, I got it split out pretty well. It might be a reverb thing, might be a volume thing. Yeah, we could use a little more reverb altogether on this guy. Actually, why don't we go church? I take the pre-delay completely down. I'm not a big fan of pre-delay and stuff like this. Paste that over. Might be a little much. Let's hear it in the mix. Too much. It lingers a little too much, but I kind of want it as well. So what I'm going to do is do my two side ones with the hall reverb and my two middle ones with that church reverb and see if that sounds kind of cool.
Eyes that the thunder tends to see. Eyes that the thunder tends to see. Long tormented by wind and rain, destined to fight and die in vain. But
this was one of the things I was kind of worried about too, is in this chorus section the snare was too low, so I addressed that in a pretty simple way. I made just a duplicate track. I took one of the snares that I really liked from the session, and I just made the loudest one the entire time. So there's no dynamic on this snare, so I could kind of mix it in lightly. And it comes up. You see, I have it mixed in fairly lightly, but it brings those parts up where he's doing some fancy stuff and not hitting the snare as hard as he possibly can. Brings those parts up into the mix a little bit more, and that's one of the things that really helped this part out.
long tormented by wind and rain, destined to fight and die in vain. But I
One of the other weird things about this mix is they have these like cool like thunder effects because it's about weather, of course. So something like that sounds pretty cool, but it's got to be bigger, you know. It's got to be thicker. So I'm actually going to try a plugin that's all about it's almost like a limiter. It's called the one knob, and we're going to use the one knob pressure. See what we get out of that. Too much. That initial pop is a bit much. Maybe I'll just fade that. Let's throw an EQ on, play around with this a little bit. I'm still not getting what I want out of it. There we go. See, there's so much crack right around here. I was taken away from like that guttural sound of it. That's what we want. Now we can even raise the volume of this a little bit and get more impact from it.
There's rain. The motivation is taken, my concentration is shaken. Was there ever a sun? Because my map.
I wanted to take a little bit of the bite out of this guy. I'm imagining it's around here. It's here. Yeah. So that's the nastiness. I want to get a little bit out of there because I want it to be a little bit bassier here as well. Yeah, now we get good impact from that bubbly sound. It's in there.
The motivation is taken, my concentration is shaken. Was there ever a sun? Because my memory's vacant. Take a look around and see thoughts that once surrounded me. Down by the rain, causing pain when I think them. They were written to be fun, but now the inks began to run. So I plead in the sky, asking what I could have done.
Now we've made this part so big that it kind of pulls out all the bass when we hit the next part. So you have to probably just lower it.
Down by the rain, causing pain when I think them. They were written to be fun, but now the
There we go. Just a couple dBs down and we're good.
Take a look around and see thoughts that once surrounded me. Down by the rain, causing pain when I think them. They were written to be fun, but now the inks began to run. So I plead in the sky, asking what I could have done.
This section has its own backup track, and it was a little low. Let's put that.
The motivation is taken, my concentration is shaken. Was there ever a sun? Because my memory's vacant. Take a look around and see thoughts that once surrounded me. Down by the rain, causing pain when I think them. They were written to be fun, but now the ink.
See, I want to keep that as a background track. So, you know, splitting it out and everything does that a lot, but I'm thinking I might need a little bit of delay, a little bit more delay on it. When it's this wordy, this is kind of risky, so I'm going to try it out, see if it sounds good. We might have to go back.
My motivation is taken, my concentration is shaken. Was there ever a sun? Because my memory's vacant. Take a look around and see thoughts that once surrounded me. Down by the rain, causing pain when I think them. They were written to be fun, but now the inks began to run.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, because now we have something that's never actually takes over, still sounds background-ish, especially with a little bit extra delay on it. It doesn't sound like it's the main vocal. That's what I was looking for here. Let's keep going. We're almost there.
Long tormented by wind and rain, destined to fight and die in vain. But I aspire to predict my weather and defend.
mastering in that section when that gang vocals kind of sound bigger. I think we might have to do the same thing I did in the other one. Let's pick that big reverb and have it go there. Let's see. Yeah, we'll put the middles on that church reverb with no pre-delay, kind of the same way we did the last one. Yeah, it's that atmospheric sound that I'm going for. Well, that they're going for. You know, they explained to me this song. I mean, they call it the Weatherman. So we want a lot of that atmospheric kind of sounds going on. The reverb does a great job at that, creating that convolution there.
Long tormented by wind and rain, destined to fight and die in vain. But I aspire to predict my weather and defend the thoughts that
Cool. Now just a couple mastering things I want to fix up on this, and then we're good. And we'll have a little Cinco de Mayo. Get out of here.
My thoughts are free, surfing a constant breeze, handwritten in ink for me to pluck and ponder when I please. An over tree storms breach, my thoughts are out of reach, and I succumb to the lies of abundance and disease. Long tormented by wind and rain, destined to fight and die in vain. But I aspire to predict my weather and defend the thoughts that eclipse. My thoughts are free, surfing a long tormented by wind and rain, destined to fight and die in vain. But I aspire to.
There it is. There was kind of like this cheap broken speakerish sound in the middle of this section, and I think it's just a lot of frequencies because we did such a chill chorus. A lot of frequencies were chilling towards the middle. You know, besides really that high bell thing that was going on the drums, most of those frequencies are in a very similar area. I'm gonna pull them down. This is like the vocal range. This is where people talk too, so it was a lot of stuff in the same area. I think this will really help the mix out, just pulling that down just a little bit.
Long tormented by wind and rain, destined to fight and die in vain. But I aspire to predict my weather and defend the thoughts that eclipse.
Let's see the last. Let's see the last chorus. Here we are.
Long tormented by wind and rain, destined to fight and die in vain. But
I have a mastering compressor over here. That's what I'm adjusting the makeup gain, the output gain on that. In case you don't see what's going on. I don't really want to redline too much. You really don't want to redline at all. But this sort of program, you could get away with a little bit of it. It could kind of tap it, and it won't be the end of the world, but you don't want to really redline. So I want to make it as loud as possible while still keeping all the dynamics. Mastering's an art in its own, man. It's a lot of stuff that you can do here. But I'm pretty happy with what I just did there. Good. So I'm going to bounce this out and call it a day. Hope everybody's having a really good Cinco de Mayo. Let me just explain a couple of things about the Music Modernization Act for the people who didn't catch the earlier stream. Said I ended it too quickly. I probably did. I was just trying to test if I could do these streams. Hopefully this one's coming through well. So the Music Modernization Act, it got passed by the House, and now it's going to get passed by the Senate. It's very, very likely it gets passed by the Senate. It was unanimously passed through the House of Representatives, so they like it. And I like it in general. I think it's a small improvement. What happened is the music streamers, your Spotify's, your Apple Music's, stuff like that, they were getting into a lot of lawsuits because they couldn't pay out a lot of their streaming profits. So they get streaming profits, and usually the payout is about 10% when going to the artist and so on of what they make. So they take that money, they try to find the artist, and they send checks. That's where you get a check from Spotify or something. Now, what the Music Modernization Act does is it puts another organization in the middle of that. That organization is going to take all of the accrued money that you've made from the streaming and everything like that, and it will identify everyone and then send that money out. So now all like the legal issues that Spotify has been having should be gone. They shouldn't have to go, oh, well, you didn't pay this person for that or that person for this, because all the money was really going to the lawyers rather than the musicians. So I like that about the bill. I think that'll be helpful. We hardly have a free market when it comes to this stuff, so this does help. This is incrementally better. But there, before that, actually, there was a trade-off. This bill was put through because Spotify is giving a break to artists. They're actually raising what they pay artists from about 10% to 15%, which is a huge, huge improve. So what happened is, instead of paying all this money to the lawyers for all these lawsuits that are coming up, they're okay with raising this to 15%. It's going to take 5 years to go up to 15%, so don't get too excited. It's not going to happen right away, but this bill is going to be law like pretty quick. And this bill is going to go ahead and pay everybody out. The one issue I have with the bill is for independent artists. If you're an independent artist and you aren't found through this system, so you put your music up or someone takes your music, puts it on Spotify, now they're trying to find who holds the copyright, and they can't find who holds the copyright, they hold onto that accrued money for 3 years. They're then going to post it somewhere that there is money for this music put aside if you could prove you have the copyright. I want to know where that is. I think that'll be really, really important, because independent artists are going to need to know that. We're not going to have people running through the internet for us trying to find all this stuff. It has to be somewhere. We have to be able to share it with our Facebook friends, with our Instagram friends, and on any platform that we have to share this so that people can get their money. Because if they don't get that money after 3 years, guess who it goes to? It's going to go to your biggest publishers. So it's going to go to the people who have the largest market share and who have made the most from the streaming system. And that makes no sense, because I guarantee you they have nothing to do with the money that they'll be taking, because they know all their artist stuff, and all that stuff will be taken care of. All these major label artists, all these, people with big publishing companies behind them and so on, they will make sure they get paid for all of that. But the stuff that where they can't locate, they're going to get paid for that too if it doesn't get claimed within 3 years. I'm not a big fan of that. I think they should leave that for much, much longer, or forever, because those companies don't deserve the money to begin with. Why are they getting it? It makes no sense. But for us, we have to get ahead of the ball here, and wherever they're posting this stuff, we have to share it with our friends so that we don't give our money away. But yeah, thanks for being with me on this one. I hope you guys have a happy Cinco de Mayo. Don't do anything too dumb, and if you do, videotape it. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. I'm going to end the stream now.